The first memory that I have of my dad is when he yelled at me. I remember it happened so frequently that I had tried to do something to impress him, but instead of getting a compliment, I got in trouble. Nothing I did was good enough to ever impress my dad. Let me tell you a little bit more about my life. My mom had 5 miscarriages before my brother was born. It was so stressful being in that situation. I kept waiting and waiting for my brother to arrive. I wanted to have a sibling so bad to the point where I had to take my dolls to school and pretended they were my siblings. I was doing everything I possibly could to stop the stress and sadness. When I was 7, my brother was born. Things were okay back then. My dad wasn't too moody, but I could still notice that his mood swings were there. All I focused on was that I never let my brother deal with my dad's emotions like I had to. And then a terrible day had come. My dad lost it. I was hiding in the wardrobe, holding my baby brother while watching my dad doing things to my mom. I didn't know what to do. All I knew was that I would protect my brother with my life. I held him in my arms until everything was over. Luckily, my brother wasn't old enough to understand what's going on. There were a lot of ups and downs between my parents, but one thing I hated the most was that no one had ever asked me if I was okay. They both acted like I didn't exist. After a while of having a terrible time, a lot of ups and downs, nothing was right. Other than having a terrible father, I also got bullied at school for being chubby. I couldn't take it anymore, so I decided to go to a therapist. The treatment didn't get far until my dad found out and commanded me to stop going to a therapist because my dad thought my depression was caused by hormone changes during puberty. As I got older, I felt like my dad hated me more and more. We argued all the time. He would call me names and said things that made my heart shatter. At this point, I swore to myself that I would never let my children know their grandfather. He was that terrible. A while later, we found out why my dad was always so aggressive. He was diagnosed with diabetes. We got him the medication he needed and hoped he'd at least get a little bit better. But he was always so stubborn and went weeks without taking his medication. I was terrified. My life was a mess. I had a terrible father, and they kept calling me names at school because I was chubby. I knew for a fact that nothing could change my father. So I was focused a lot on the bullying. It stressed me out. I was eating less and less every day, hoping all the bullies would go away if I got slimmer. I lost 12 kilograms in a matter of a couple of months. I felt exhausted, but I did it anyway because if I was thin, they would stop bullying me. But I was wrong. Even though I was way thinner than before, the bullying didn't stop. Being thinner doesn't make you look better at all, they'd say. I had to face all of this at school and had to deal with my dad's anger when I got home. I couldn't take it anymore. I just wanted to go to sleep so I wouldn't have to deal with any of this ever again. I was hopeless and felt like this world doesn't even have one little spot for me to stand. I swallowed. My head was fuzzy, and I don't remember what happened after that. I woke up in a hospital the next morning with my mom looking terrified right next to my bed. Things got a little better when I found a boy who cared so much about me and understood me so well. I felt a lot better as we dated. I got so much better that I could stop taking medication. Things were going so good until I was suspicious that he was seeing someone else. We had a lot of arguments, and I started having trust issues. I lost control and went back to where I was. I never knew how to have a constructive argument. All I knew was that I had to act so that I can control him like my dad did to my mom. That's the only way I knew. At the end, he couldn't stand me anymore and left me. I am 19 now, and I am still trying to feel better. I'm now saving as much money as I can to move out. Once that can happen, I will try my best to pick up the pieces and put my life together. I'll leave the memory of a messy life and a messy childhood behind and start a new life. If any of you out there are struggling with the same issue, you may not see a happy ending yet, but remember to never give up.